Alright, motor power and equipment 9845 initial terminal air brake test at the remote location. The technical bulletin provides guidance for the inspector regarding the performance initial terminal air brake test at remote locations. These appear to be some of the confusions of what is required for the railroad performs. Initial terminal brake test at the remote locations. It has been brought by the FRA's attention that some of the trains at these remote locations, after receiving the initial terminal brakes pursuant to Title 49 CFR 232-12 for the departing location of the cars, have an inoperative cutout air brakes. The regulation requires 100% of the operative air brakes departing initial terminal. The FRA does not believe that safety would advance allowing something less than that these remote locations. This would initial terminal brake test perform the remote location. The FRA had the requirements of Title 32-12 to be filed constantly with the car is found to be defective in operative brakes. When initial test is performed, the car must either be repaired or set out of the train before the train departs. The motive power and equipment 9901 clarification initial terminal road train air brake testing section 232-12D1. Periodically, the FRA receives and inquires concerned with the amount of brake pipe reduction required for performing the initial terminal brake press. In 1982, the FRA issued the technical bulletin, starting with the FRA policy following the initial information from the earlier technical bulletin is still in effect and should be clearly misunderstood. Clear up any misunderstandings regarding the manner inspectors should be governed accordingly. In the recognition of objectives of the train air brake test and the pressure maintaining the characteristics of 26L locomotive air brake equipment, the greater sensitivity and modern control valve, the freight car's good practice with respect to the cutting brake pressure, maintaining the feature out of the end, alternative brake end reduction sequencing provided with the equally acceptable initial terminal air brake test with the 26L equipment is utilize a single brake pipe reduction, minimized the 20 pounds but not exceeding the full surface reduction. Producing similar results may be placed in the specified sequence required in section 213-12D1 of the 15-pound reduction followed by the increase of the full surface. Motor power and equipment 001 enforcement guidelines inspection testing of the brakes on cars while shopping the repair track. The following guidance was developed to alleviate the confusion of the testing the repairs and requirements of brakes the car repaired on the shop of the repair track, particularly when the mobile repair was involved. Title 49 CFR 232-17A contains the inspection testing requirements of the car brake system. When the car is on the shop of the repair, for example, application release of the brakes must be performed. Piston treble must be inspected and adjusted. If necessary, certain brake and system components must be inspected to ensure that properly positioned and secured. In addition, with such cars must receive periodical attention in accordance with the requirements currently effective with the Association of American Railroad Code of Rules for the cars of interchange. The Associated American rules require that any of the car shops or repair truck receive the repair track of the air brake tracks, and such attention has not been provided with the car within the previous 12 months. The car regulation does not define the constitute the shop of the repair track, although the Association of American Railroad Field Manual Interchange Rules contains the definition of shop or truck. The FRA believes the Association of American Railroad definition is too narrow and does not adequately delineate what constitutes repair track. Purpose of the statute 232-17A, the FRA believes the definition fails to adequately consider location mobile repair track vehicles serve as some capacity as fixed repair facility and location railroads designating track and expedited light repair tracks for the purpose of performing minor repairs. In 1992, the FRA provided the guidance for the technical bulletin motor power and equipment 94-18. The only light minor repairs conducted with the tracks designated with the expedited light repair tracks, and currently the FRA does not require the railroads to perform air brake test related inspection testing pursuant to statute 232-17A on the brakes receiving minor repairs, straightening safety appliances, replacing handholds, replace air hose, adjusting lading, replacing coupler, knuckle pin, or knuckles, etc. Provided with the repair was performed on the tracks located outside the repair shop area, nor does the FRA require that the performance of the inspection test on the car if the mobile repair vehicle is sent into a remote location necessary repairs and equipment. However, the location where the railroad designated specific tracks to perform repairs on a regular, consistent basis, when the repairs conducted with the tracks are included with the major repair work, wheel change, coupler replacement, draft gear repair, repairs requiring the air jack, etc. FRA considered those tracks to be repair tracks for the purposes of statute 232-17A, and this includes the location of the mobile repair tracks having replacing the fixed repair facilities serving the same capacity of the fixed repair facility. The FRA believes that most illogical consistency with the intent and the meaning of the existing regulations of tent tracks and the location where repairs are type of regularly consistently performed with being considered repair tracks merely because they are serviced by the mobile repair vehicle. Furthermore, it would be consistent with the previous guidance for the FRA to allow the major repair work to perform in expedited light repair tracks merely because the repairs are performed with a mobile repair vehicle. It should be stressed where the FRA did not intend to prevent the railroad from designating the certain tracks for the conducting minor repairs and certain tracks for the conducting major repairs for the same location. Consequently, the FRA considers the Statute 232.17 applicable to fixed repair facilities at any location or all type of regularly and consistently performed, regardless of whether the mobile repair vehicle is used to conduct the repairs. The FRA does not consider tracks that are designated only for minor repairs to be repair tracks, and pursuant to 232.17a, provided such tracks that is used only to conduct minor repairs. However, the major repairs are performed on the car located in the track designation for minor repairs, then the car is subject to the provisions of Statute 232.17a before it can be placed in service. Motor Power and Equipment 9840, the 1,000-mile interpretation, Title 49 CFR 232.12b. Train must receive intermediate inspection at the points not more than 1,000 miles apart. If this and the cars responsibility designates points where 1,000 miles inspection will be made and provided with the information the FRA personnel upon the request. All mileage accumulated from the point of the initial terminal brake test will be counted toward a 1,000-mile requirement section of 232.12b. If it should be noted that the mileage occurred in Canada and Mexico will count toward 1,000-mile requirements. When the cars are received and interchanged, the receiving railroad responsible for knowing the distance of all the cars that have been traveled since their last inspection. Motor Power and Equipment 9847, handling the defective cars and intermediate inspection location. The following provided for guidance to inspectors when considering enforcement action for an improved handling cars found with the inoperative cutout air brakes location, intermediate with air brake inspection performed. The FRA concerned with some of the railroads moving the cars found with the inoperative cutout of the brakes raised during intermediate brake inspection for the inspection location where the repairs of the brakes could possibly have been made in the location. Therefore, the FRA feels some of the general guidelines should be provided with the inspector's field to aid in determining whether location is placed and repairs and should be effectuated. The statutory provision contained in Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 20303, previously Title 45 U.S. Standard Code Section 13, governs the movement of the equipment of defective power brakes. The only one allows the railroad to move the defective power equipment from the place to place where the defect is discovered to the nearest location. Necessary repairs can be made. The movement can either be by the railroad, whether the first discovered option of the connection railroad on the line of the connecting railroad. If moving no further than the location on the line, the defective was first discovered. Thus, in order to properly move the car for the repairs, the railroad must know the defect effects. Although the new regulation provided with the tagging requirements in 2004, there are currently no tagging requirements for power brake defects. Interchange with the railroad can refuse to tag accept the defective car. Upon receiving the railroad accepts the car moving in and otherwise exercising control over it, not liable. Civil penalties are not required to make repairs. It should be noted, however, the delivering railroad remains liable for each of the car defects and tenders and interchange. The statutory provision contained in Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 20303, affirmative defense established by the railroad. There are 7 elements which may be established. The car was properly equipped with the power brakes in the beginning. The car became defective while being used in the railroad on its line. The railroad discovered the defective prior to the movement. The movement was not from the place where the defect was first discovered. The repairs cannot be made at the location where the defect was first discovered. The movement was necessarily to make the necessary repairs, and the car moved only nearest available where the nearest repairs could be made. Final rule: the freight brake power brakes contained in the guidelines considered by the FRA inspectors railroad determine to constitute the nearest location when the necessary repairs are performed. See Title 49 CFR 232.15f. The guidelines are equal and applicable to determine the locations of all safety appliance defects. The guidelines must be applied on a case-to-case basis to be determined if the railroad, in good faith, is in moving defective equipment. The following locations should be considered when applying guidelines discussed in detail. Location: C, locations where mobile repair trucks are used on a regular basis. C, locations where mobile repair trucks originate personally standard. The C, locations with an operative repair track of the repair shop. C, locations where railroad performs mechanical repairs other than power brake repairs. It is determined whether location not available to capable for a particular repair for the following factors must be considered. The excessive location of the person responsible for making the repairs, the present hazard condition, effective ability to safely repair, the type of the needed location, the departure of the repair necessary to bring the car to compliance, the need for the railroads to have placed an effective means to ensure the safety and time, repair of the equipment, the relevant weather conditions of the location, and the effective accessibility to create the hazardous conditions. Location needs the ability to effectuate every type of the safety appliance repair in order to consider a location where some power break repairs can be made. A location needs to be staffed continuous in order to be considered a location near the power break repairs can be performed. The ability of the railroad to perform a single car test location shall be considered, and the congestion and workload shall not be considered. In addition, with considering the factors noted, and the following factors must be considered in determining whether nearest repairs can be made. The distance of the location, although this key, the factors should be the determining factor. This must be considered in the conjunction with all the factors previously noted, as well as the following conditions. Safety conditions. The safety of the employees responsible for getting the equipment to a particular location. The safety hazard involved with the moving the equipment direction of the travel necessary to get into the particular location. If the location where an intermediate inspection performed at a location where the necessary repairs can be made, the car may be moved from the repair. The movement of the repair was made in accordance with Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 20303. Alright, now we're going to read 20303. The moving defective insurance vehicle needing repairs. Generally, a vehicle equipped with the compliance with the chapter with those equipment the defective insurance nevertheless may be moved when necessary to make repairs without a penalty being imposed under Section 21302 of this title. From this place within which the defects in security was first discovered, the nearest availability place the repairs can be made. 1. On the railroad line on which the defective insecurity was discovered. 2. At the option of the connection railroad carrier to railroad line connecting carrier is not farther than a replace the described in Clause 1 of this section. Alright, B. The use of chains instead of with the drawbars. Vehicle with revenue train in association with commercially used vehicles may be moved under this section with chains instead of drawbars, and only with vehicles containing livestock and perishable freight. Liability. The movement of the vehicle under this section at risk of the railroad carrier during the moving. This section does not relieve the carrier liability proceeding of recovery, damage, death, and injury of the railroad employee arising from the movement of the vehicle with equipment that is defective, insecure, or not maintained in compliance with this chapter. Motor and power and equipment 98.6. Bottom rod safety support. Bottom rod safety support are only required of the cars at the bottom rod. A handbrake at the bottom rod and below the bolster. There are normally 3 types of bottom rod safety support. The most commonly used heavy wire type, the Creco. First type of the brake beam with understanding loop cradle with the bottom of the should be disengaged with the rest of the rigging. The handbrake bottom of the bottom rod using the brake beam mounted cylinder generally has a loop strip attached to each side of the truck bolster. This allows the handbrake to operate freely, acts with a safety guard. There's an older type that can be attached with the spring plate newer cable type. Motor power and equipment 98.8 air brake system air reserve connection pipes. There has been incidents of whether inspectors detected freight cars in service and they have reserve connection pipes incorrectly applied. The approximately portion of the reserve connected with the emergency portion of the brake valve. The emergency portion of the reserve was connected to the service portion of the brake valve. Inspectors should alternate the condition and take appropriate action when detected. Alright, motor power and equipment 9811. Testing handbrakes on locomotives equipped with the air release valve. On some locomotives, the application of the handbrakes actually with the air release valve of the brake cylinder on the side of the truck when handbrakes function. The system necessary brakes because the brake cylinder body is to be moved. The application of the handbrakes, if in the position is the extended cylinder block, cannot be moved. The release of the valve function properly. If it released, the pressure allowed the position to retract the application of the handbrake while forcing the cylinder body back toward the wheel. If the release valve does not function as intended, but the handbrake is applied with the position and the locomotive will not have any holding brakes when air leaks off. The FRA has advised that there has been incidents of rollaway locomotives because of the failure to have the release valve. In many cases, the employees have applied with the handbrake and shut down locomotives, only discovered later that the handbrake was not applied after the air leaked off. All inspectors are reminded that they are not involved themselves in manipulation of any apparatus that may cause an allowed adverse condition in any way. Testing for above described condition must be done only by carrier personnel. Motor power and equipment 9851 condition uses only airflow method of the train air brake qualifications alternatively to the leakage testing for the train. The following conditions of the Association of American Railroads for the use of airflow method for the train brake qualifications. Each controlling locomotive train qualified with the airflow method should be provided with an operational airflow indicator. Participate in railroads should provide operational end of the train devices. See Title 49 CFR 232-19 and 232-25. Only trains except with the transfer yard trains when the movement is not exceeding 20 miles an hour. The airflow method will apply only to the trains using locomotives that are equipped with the airflow indicator conforms to the FRA consideration, AAR specification, calibration procedures, and 26L freight locomotive air brake equipment. For the airflow method, when used for the train air brake qualification, the air brake system shall be charged with 15 psi highest locomotive feed with the valve pressure used with the railroad airflow shall not exceed 60 cubic feet per minute. 5. The airflow indicator was calibrated to accuracy periodic intervals not exceeding 92 days. The airflow indicator should clearly visible legible daylight and darkness for the engineer in normal operating position. 7. The airflow indicator shall be clearly uniform marked and indicated with direct reading of the airflow 10 cubic feet per minute. The increments are less than 10 cubic feet to 80 cubic feet per minute with the numerals indicated with a minimum of 20, 40, 60, and 80 cubic feet per minimal minute for continuous monitoring of the airflow brake pipe pressure. 8. The airflow indicator calibration test orifices shall be calibrated to temperatures not less than 20 degrees Fahrenheit. When a train qualified by the airflow method operating experience increases the brake pipe air pressure, the increase of the brake pipe gradient move of the pointer does not return to the limits established with the internal terminal train air brake testing with a reasonable time. The train crew shall stop with the inspector repair leaks. If detected they are unable to repair, repairs crew should arrange for the defective cars or proceed to the caution to the next location where the corrective action can be taken. 10. All participation railroads should be provided with the FRA list of location calibrations will be performed. Location will be provided with the test orifice. Change, deleted, additional location will be reported to the FRA within 92 days in it. And 11. All personnel involved with the airflow method testing of the training air brake system operating such train must be given training and be aware of understanding the conditions of waiver. 12. The participating railroad shall be provided operational end of the train devices T Title 49 CFR Section 232-19 through 232-25 on all other trains transferring yard train movements and movements exceeding 20 miles an hour. 14. The airflow method applying with the train locomotive the equipped for the airflow indicated with the conforms with the FRA conditions, the air specification calibration of the 26L freight locomotive brake equipment. When the AFM issues the train and brake qualification, the air brake system shall be charged with the 15 psi highest locomotive feed flow pressure used in the railroad airflow should not exceed 260 cubic feet per minute. The airflow indicator should be calibrated to accuracy periodically intervals not exceeding 92 days. 16. The airflow indicator should be clearly visible, legible in daylight and darkness of the engine in normal operation. The airflow indicator should be carefully uniformly marked, indicating the reading of the airflow within 10 cubic feet a minute. Increments less than 10 cubic feet to 80 cubic feet per minute. Numeral identifications minimum 20, 40, 60 cubic feet per minute for the continuous monitoring of the airflow with the brake pipe pressure. Airflow calibration testing officers shall be calibrated with the test of less than 20 degrees Fahrenheit when the train qualified with the airflow method. The operating experience increase with the brake pipe airflow. The increase of the brake pipe gradient move of pointer does not return the limits established with the initial terminal train testing brakes. As within reasonable time, the crew shall stop the train inspection, repair leaks, and if detected unable to repair the crews, arrange for the defective cars or proceed with the due caution to the next location. Corrective action be taken. 20. All participation railroads shall provide with the FRA location of calibration will be performed. The location will be provided with the testing orifice, changed, deleted, additional forms. Location reported with the FRA 92 days. And 21. All personnel involved with the airflow maintenance for the testing of the train air brake system operating such trains must be given in training aware and understanding the conditions of waiver. Motor power and equipment 9827 locomotive handbrake stencil requirement of the Canadian Railroads. Title 49 CFR Section 232-10 F2 requires locomotive handbrakes to be inspected. Required often service requires due date suitable stencils and tag. Transportation Canada Cab Form 22 Item 8A includes the same information. Information 8A is the Transportation Canada Cab Form 22 satisfies the FRA requirements for having date suitable stencils and tagged. Motor Power and Equipment 9841, locomotive brake cylinder pressure. To address the question concerning the minimum locomotive brake cylinder pressure required by the federal regulations following the guidance application of Section 229.55C, the minimum brake cylinder pressure shall be 30 pounds per square inch. Section 232.10 ND8 states that air pressure regulating must be added following the pressure staff flapping portion of the independent air brake. Full application pressure of 30 to 50 pounds regulation written in the cast iron brake shoes with the standard in the brake cylinder relay air valve delivering 100% of the control pressure of the brake cylinder. The advent of the high friction compressed brake shoe various relays have been used depending on whether the rigging of the design of the cast iron composition shoes to the best of the stop distance of the cast iron to stop the relay valve of the composition shoe. One of the high automatic brake valves with speed with the general waving of the above speed and higher level independent normally switching by tailoring relay valve locomotive to standard independent brake valve setting can be universally on a railroad. The setting is usually 45 psi. The resulting brake cylinder pressure verified 27 psi within 60% relay or 72% with 160% relay. 60% relay valves are J46 and J64 may normally be found on old locomotives which are converted from cast iron shoes to class rigging of the composition shoes with class ribbing. The FRA considers such locomotives to be in compliance with the regulations. Motor power and equipment in 9855 brake shoes. The cars equipped with the 15-inch end of the car concussion units has been brought to the FRA's attention that some of the freight cars are undergoing the modification include the installation of the 15-inch end of the cushion unit when not properly installed with the maintained can develop in crumpled brake hose condition. Often the rafters and converted with improperly maintained brake hose spray freely contain reduce causing the brake hose to bind in either full bluff or full draft positions. Inspectors need to be vigilant as a sign of the brake shoe's deterioration, especially on cars with modified draft system. In such conditions, immediately report to the railroad. Also forward the findings of regional motor power and equipment and specialists, and sort of the data collected and determine widespread problem except exists in specific series of cars. The FRA Advisory 2008-01 ends of this section. Motor Power Equipment 9856, Sloan Model 3050A and 3200A angle clock. Sloan Model 3050A and 3200A angle clocks has caused injury to the several railroad employees. Several railroad employees have experienced personal injury with the Sloan angle clock. Handle and ball assembly forcefully flew apart in the train line pressure when it's turned past in a prescribed closed position due to the broken body stop, aka mechanical stop for the handle. The FRA contacted the AAR regarding the safety hazard. In response, the AAR reissued instructions for properly repairing the Sloan Model 350-50A and 320A 3200 angle cock. Maintenance Advisory C-8502 MA 27 date 1996. During the routine inspection of field, personnel should be alert to potential safety hazard and verify all angle clocks have effective body stop for the handle. Guidance of truck-mounted brakes. Guidance regarding the procedure for the truck-mounted brakes indicated below is required. For example, the AT at Class 1 A yards inspection brakes applied repairs. As you can see in Figure 16, the truck is mounted completely independent. Truck bolster is attached in between the brake end of the paddles into the same frame beam guide slots. As you will see, the brake cylinder mounted one of the brake beams towards the center of the truck bolster and a handbrake lever. Connected by the handbrake lever and cylinder lever, automatic slack adjuster, return push rod, connected transfer and second brake beam. See, you've got your PT indicator bracket, your PT indicator arrow, brake applied. The position travel indicator is mounted with the piston rod, brake applied. Figure 17, you will see the position travel around the mounted cylinder piston rod when brakes are allowed to arrow past the piston or indicator bracket attached to the cylinder non-pressure head. As position extended in Figure 17 illustrates the brakes applied with the indicated with the arrow location of the two vertical edges of the brake bracket window. Alright, this shows the PT indicator bracket with a PT indicator arrow, brake release. The brakes are released with this arrow located on the brake window closer to the cylinder shown in Figure 18. Figure 19 shows the TMX tax indicator travel indicator inspection, and there's your inspection. Alright, it has this pin where you take out the pin, so that's the pin you take out to change the brakes. The TMX travel indicators observed looking through the window next to the spring nest side frame standard AA three-piece truck. The speed of the brake heads when the cylinder towards the center of the truck. See figure 19 and 20. This is department. This is the action needed to safely determine air hose elbow connection certain freight cars. This is a letter. I don't feel like reading it. Chapter 12. Passenger equipment safety standards.